All right. So, guys, I want to go over how I do my logs on Warcraft logs for anybody that is new or anybody that is struggling to get better at parsing. Um, I'm not the best warrior in the world, but I do get some decent parses on some bosses. Um, Realistically, I could probably be better, but that's beyond this point. So, the first thing I do when I kill a boss and I don't get the best parse in the world is, for instance, this is still fine, but uh, I want to see how I can get better. Um, the best situation, Nexus King is a good situation because we killed it recently. We were at the highest item level we could possibly be, and I'm pretty sure we all had our um, dinars. So, what I like to do here is I like to go to the log, right? And these prices actually have gone down since, but doesn't matter. This was a prog kill, an only kill on this boss actually, prior to the reclears you guys have been doing. So I'll go to my character here, and the first thing I do is I look at my average cast and my uptime. Most of the time I do this by usually like a lust window is good or the intro is good, since a lot of time in the beginning you're not doing much. Um, so I see in this window, how many average cast I'm getting, how many rampages I'm getting out, and the best way to determine whether or not this is actually benefiting you and you're doing well is using this compare tool. And I will select myself, and then, or actually, undo this way. You go here and you select yourself, and what you do is you find searches limiting to fights where the duration was within 10 seconds. Is kind of rough because we are as a prod kill. I have to do like 25. 25 is still high. Maybe we do 20. Obviously, we're doing mythic, so this should be 20 people no matter what. I like to do within 3 item levels, because sometimes people take weaker trinkets, and that can change that. And then last 28 days is fine because we're at the end of the season. And then we search here. Okay. And after we do the search, it will pull up a bunch of parses from other people who have obviously been doing this fight as well. And we will usually I like to find the best match. This guy actually pumped. But that's still fine. I usually try to find the best match or someone that I know who I know. Like I got DK, this guy's really good. Revis, this guy's actually pretty good too. Hathor's really good. So usually, I don't know whose Big Bugatti is, so I'm not gonna pick him. We'll probably just go Revis. Okay, and so what I like to see here is, okay. First of all, there's trinket discrepancy, which kind of sucks. I don't really like to pick people who have different trinkets than I do. Sorry, I'm sick, so I sound a little weird. But I generally like to stay on board with the same trinkets. Um, guys, the rank one. I mean, these guys are just using different trinkets. It's kind of hard to evaluate. Hathor is probably the best way to evaluate myself at this point. I mean, the 25th highest kill isn't the worst situation. He did 8.9 mil this fight. Um, I don't know how much I did. Couldn't get a compare tool here. Damage done. I'm sorry. Where's the counter at? Okay, here it is. Let's go back. Let's get out of this. He did 8.5 mil. I did 7.4, so he did a whole mil over me. So, still decent. And we had the same trinkets, so I like to compare myself that way. I think it's just Hathor's ult. The guy has multiple ults, so we will do this one instead. So, get this tab. Look at him here. All right. So the first thing I can see when I go through these comparison tools is we lusted at the exact same time, which everybody lusted this phase because you're trying to kill a dragon, so that's good. Um, in this pool, he did what's that? 15 more raging blows than I did. Um, and he also casted more. He had more. Oh, he just had more hits in general on the raging blow. This is probably due and especially with this fight because it's like a 2 target cleave sometimes, and I wasn't really patty on the ads, so it could be something like that. But obviously, he had more raging blow cast, which was proccing Reap the Storms, he had more Reap the Storm damage because of how the tier set works. This is probably due to the platform damage, as you can tell here. If we were to look at raging blows, we were on the platforms here, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but obviously he destroyed the platforms here. So these are platform damage here. So this is where he got his huge discrepancy, pretty much, over how I performed. So I say, okay, how could I be performing better on the platforms? Well, obviously I went to the platforms. I don't want to see just Raging Blow anymore, so I take off just Raging Blow. And I usually would do like a scan this. I already did it, and I will do like a timeline on this to see what he did compared to how I did. So he entered with Whirlwind starting, and he had his Blade Storm already ready previously when we first landed for the platforms about 5 seconds before I did. And the reason why this is so huge for me is because my Blade Storm applies overwhelm to my targets. And when I get overwhelmed to my targets and I use Raging Blows, I get more Reap the Storm damage. Well, I think I may have used my Blade Storm when we were doing damage to the dragon during the beams, and it wasn't up exactly when I needed to have it up on the platform, so I was a little behind. I also got my Rampages off beforehand, so I can be enraged. My Blade Storm proc, hit my Blade Storm, and then Raging Blows go out because you're trying to procure the storm damage. Obviously, he had way more procs than I did with Raging Blow. This is probably just due to like random RNG procs, which is fine. It happens. I would have had more of these if I had a higher Blade Storm window beforehand. He also didn't use Thunder Sword till later into the fight. I'm assuming he didn't use Thunder Sword really until he basically ran out of Thunder. Basically, Raging Blow procs. I used it earlier. Kind of wasted a GCD, and I could have used Raging Blow procs. So maybe I'll be like, okay, well, maybe I'll hold my Thunder Sword to the end of my rotation on that part then. He got a Sack Brood proc here. I did not. Mine was much earlier. And then, so timing's probably a little different there. Because that's a timing trinket. It's not really, you can't really determine how you use that. Another thing I like to track as Warrior is I like to track a big ability called Execute, because we have a talent called Morph Execution that determines whether or not we decide to use or execute, whether we have 2 sudden doom procs or more, or if we have AoE, you can usually do 2 Morph Execution procs, or you can do 3. A lot of people wait till 3 on boss fights, but since we're in the platforms, I was doing every 2. He obviously was not using Execute nearly as much as I was. So situations here is like maybe I was using Executes because I didn't have any Raging Blow procs. He did. So then let's also track Raging Blow here as well. Here we go. So obviously, like I was saying earlier, these are the same times I was using my Executes. He had Raging Blows, so he was using Raging Blows, and I did not have them. So basically, overall, it was him Raging Blow procs on the platform. He uses Blade Storm earlier, which I should have done. I should have saved it for the platforms instead of blowing it before going. And he had more Raging Blow procs due to his resets, which I can't really control too much. But it's something we can keep and understand about how and why I could have done more damage. This is generally how I compare my logs every single time I do something. Sometimes I go into my logs and I say, okay, well, I want to see a fight where I actually did like super good and compare it to like the number 1 guy and see where I can get even better. So let's do that. So let's go. like my Plexus kill. We're going to do it based off this date because this is the highest parse I had at the time. We're going to go here and we're going to see, okay, I want to compare myself to, I don't want to do the last 28 days. I want to do like, oh man, this is going to be hard because, it's going to be limited. Damn, I can't really do this, unfortunately, because I mean, the last time I killed this boss was in fucking September, man. So, let's go to our Dimmy logs. So, let's see here. Let's go back to reports. My God. Okay. I guess we were pugging stuff. I don't remember doing that. Oh, here are the dates. Okay. This is like the last. This is too bad. We didn't do too well here with our raids on this week, but let's do this raid this week. Stage 2. I want to get to a stage 3 fight. Sorry. I know I'm being. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Stage 3 wipe. Okay. So we're looking at the damage here. I'm gonna pull myself up. I'm gonna compare. I'm going to assign somebody myself, compare myself to somebody else as well in the last 2 days, 2 item levels, which is fine. I don't have the stupid trinkets because unfortunately we never killed this boss on Mythic, so I'll never be able to see the stupid Screams of Forgotten Sky. But this guy, Hathor, again, great player. He obviously is using the same trinkets I am, so we'll do the log check again. Obviously, we were trying to get out of phase, so our bloodless isn't the same. Their bloodless is actually in P3, or our bloodless is on the platform to get to P3, which is fine. We're only really going to analyze probably this first half of the fight. So, consistently, we did pretty much the same on the very intro of the fight. Not much too discrepancy here. I'm not really that worried about it. We were holding DPS on this phase to prevent the boss from going lower. He was not, so not a huge deal. The discrepancies usually come here on the platforms is really where it seems. So when we get to the platforms, we go here. And I want to see timeline. So once again, I'm sure this is where we get all the ads gathered. This is the first platform? Probably the first platform. He had his Blazestorm up. I did not. Instantly seeing that, I know immediately I am never going to do as much damage as he is because I fucked up either previously or prior and I not used my Blazestorm properly, so I did not have my procs read the storm. So this is why he just did infinitely more damage than I did. I think this is the second set of ads. I think I blew mine for the first set of ads here, as you can tell. He waited to hold his till the second set of ads. So this is probably where he got his damaging, probably where I got my damaging. So maybe I don't blow my load on the first set of ads, and I wait till the second set of ads to do my damage because everybody's probably trying to kill the ads right here. And if I am also killing the ads where everybody else is using their cooldowns, obviously I don't get as much uptime on my damage. So it's probably more beneficial for us and the raid if I wait till the second set of ads, because at that point, I think it's one right here actually, the second set of ads. Because at that point, no one's doing damage to the ads, and that's kind of why they were taking forever. So I didn't really look at our logs so much this week. I probably should have, and I probably should have waited till the second set of ads to use my cooldowns, because if I did, then we would have probably got through this phase a little faster. Either or I died maybe. I don't know if I might have died. I don't even know. But yes, I had 14 Raging Blow proxy at 25. I mean, it's just stuff like that. The best way to do this is to do an analyze and comparison tool. Compare yourself to top players who are also doing better than you. That is more or less how I do my log reviews. I really don't do much more than that. That's really like the bare minimum any raider should do. And at least at the Mythic level, I mean, Heroic, like whatever, you don't have to really do this. But on Mythic, you should at least take the time and understand. There's this cool button right here to toggle by your island level, so you can determine like how well you did compared to people at your island level. Um, and you can obviously exclude private logs, but no one does that. So this is the best way to determine your damage and your logs, in my opinion. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Let me know. Yeah. So, there's no all-star points for this fight because it's an ad cheese. That's cool. Anyways, yeah, you can DM me at cnoobster on Discord. I will gladly help anybody who has trouble reading logs, understanding your class in general, to help you determine whether or not what you need to do in comparison to somebody who is performing better than you. And hopefully you can figure out and get better and have more uptime and, pump damage. Anyways, thank you for watching.